y'all, and welcome to the Ladywing Designs channel. My name is Zakia, and this is a channel about crafting, mostly cross stitch, a little bit of knitting, and yeah, so welcome back to anyone that is a returning viewer, and a big welcome to new viewers. I hope you like what you see here and maybe subscribe. Yeah, okay. Today is Wednesday. I seriously have no idea. Yes, it is Wednesday, September the 2nd, 2020. How are we already in September, y'all? That's crazy. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well, staying safe and sane and healthy, all the things as best as you can. And yeah, I can't think of anything else that I want to say right off the bat, so I think we're just going to jump into crafty stuff. And if something comes up, we'll just chat about it. So, it has been 3 weeks since I recorded, and I've got a lot to show as far as projects that I've worked on. Yeah, so let's get started. So first, I have a ton of finished objects. Insane. I've definitely been on a finishing kick, and I'm not mad about it. So the first thing that I finished, I think this was finished pretty soon after the last episode as well. This is Sampler Lessons 4 from Plum Street Samplers. And I did, wow, okay, that's tragic. Oh, okay. I have another project like sitting up here that I'm going to start soon. Oh, darn it. And I had perfectly found which side of the fabric I was doing that on, and now I'm going to have to figure it out again. Darn it. It's fine. I had it sitting a certain way on top of the pattern so I would know, like, this is the corner you're starting in. Darn it. Y'all, it took me way too long to figure it out the first time. So this is my version of this project. I love it. So this is on 36 count Legacy from Picture This Plus. And yeah, I love it. So this fabric came in a package. I'm supposed to talk about it a little bit later. I'll show you like a couple of the fabrics. But my good friend Teresa from 33rd Street Knits, both on Instagram and YouTube. She has a knitting podcast. Yeah, she came into some cross stitch fabric and was like, hey, these are higher counts I'm probably not going to use, so she gave them to me, which I am super excited about. So this is one of those pieces of linen. It's the same one that has Good Intentions on it. So yeah, this is my finish. I, of course, did a skin conversion. Changed this flower. These were made purple. What else was a significant change? I did the house in white. So the sheep and the lady's apron are 38.65. And then I did the house in white. So yeah, and then all three of my initials are down here. I love it. Super simple. It was a good quick stitch, and that green in the hill was the perfect mindless stitching. So all of my color conversions I put in the Instagram post when I finish the project. So if you're wondering about color conversions, just check my Instagram. Okay. I'm like, where do I throw things? Spoiler, I have no idea. Okay, next, I was working a ton on cardinal points, which is coming in a second, but I needed a little break because I was kind of starting to burn out on it after the first week, and so I picked up, or well, started and finished this Thanksgiving Flip It from Lizzie Kate. I pulled out a few smalls like a little bit ago that were kind of mindless and just quick, and they sit up here. That way, if I'm like, hey, I want to start something like new that won't take too much time, I kind of grab for these. So this and this is yet again on the same piece of fabric as another project because beggars can't be choosy. Yeah, so again, color conversions can be found on the Instagram post. If you are on Ravelry and still able to view Ravelry because of the theme changes and such, I have all of my cross stitch projects. They all get a project page on Ravelry as well, and I do put all of the details and color changes and things over there also. So if you're on Ravelry and you want to look there, the information is also there. But this is the finish that I got on this Flip It. It was a seriously quick stitch. It took me like 2 days, I think. I really enjoyed it. So that is done. Yay. I actually, I totally forgot. I did my signature up here and then totally forgot to stitch the leaves. So yeah, I came back up here and was like, oh crap, I have to stitch the leaves, and then it just worked out that that top stitch of the leaf, there's like one stitch in between that and my signature. But I like the way it looks, and I was not doing it again, so I just left the 2020 there. And the charm came with it, so that's done. This is on 32 count light mocha Belfast linen. Okay, next. This is the big finish, y'all. So if you watch the vlogs, you've already seen this one and the next one actually, but just in case you didn't, I will show it. So I finished Cardinal Points by Long Dog Samplers. It's charted, this is how it's charted to look. It's charted in Gentle Arts sampler threads, and I did a DMC conversion. So for the most part, I just looked up, or pretty much entirely, I think, I just looked up like gas to DMC conversion and went from there. But again, color conversions are there if you would like to know them. So here it is. It is done, y'all. It's so big that I like actually can't bring it close and show it to you right now. Like all together, I mean. So oh, I'm so excited, y'all. I absolutely love this. So let's bring it in close. And like I did in the vlog, I'll talk to you about the conversions as we go. So here's the top half, a little closer. On this side, this yellow and orange flower right here, that's a conversion. It's supposed to be like these same pinks and things. Y'all know I'm not a pink fan, so I changed it to yellow and orange. And the little flowers down here are red instead of the pink right here. And then this dog apparently just finished a bathroom break. It's fine. It's all good. And then the words in the center there. The gentle art of a needlewoman lies embodied in her work. Oh, that was another change. Whoops. So all of the cardinal directions here, all of the letters there are in yellow instead of the green that they were charted for. And then here's the bottom half. Again, these yellow flowers here are converted. I of course changed the signature portion of it. Zakiya Johari R. wrought this at Tuscaloosa, Alabama in 2020. And then the only other change through here was this little flower, which I changed to purple because that's my mom's favorite color. So yay. There are a few other, like, especially in the bottom half, there are a few other, like, oh, that stitch is, like, one place off, or whatever. Yeah, it's fine. It just makes it more unique. And honestly, I only remember one of them now, and I'll probably forget that soon, too. So, Cardinal Points is finished in less than a year, because its birthday is on September the 17th. So, I finished it on the 30th, August the 30th. Yeah, so here's the back. I I know people love to see the backs. Yay! Super stoked, y'all. So this is on 18 count Ada, 2/1, because that's what I do with 18 count and 36 count. Super excited about that. So after I finished cardinal points, I went to the Frankenstein sale because it had come out the day before on the 29th. So at the beginning, sorry, I'm fixing my nose ring. So at the beginning of the month, okay, pause, sorry. This is the Frankenstein Mystery Sal from, okay, the pattern is by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, and that's the Etsy shop that you can go to in order to buy the patterns. But it is for, it's part of the Stitching Book Club. They're, well, now we're reading it because the reading portion started. So it's reading the book Frankenstein and doing this mystery stitch along as well. So, sorry. People's cars are just very loud here for no reason. I don't understand. Like, even super late at night. I don't get it. Anyway, so, at the beginning of the month, when you could start buying this house, the borders were what was released, Frankenstein, and then all of the borders. And so on the 29th, we got part 1. I have not started reading my book yet. I'll probably start reading it during like the second release because knowing me, I probably like will not actually participate in the discussions. I might like be present, but I probably won't like myself actually participate. I might. I know me. Usually I don't necessarily like talk during those things. I just kind of like to listen. But yeah, I'm just gonna like read the whole book straight through. So I'm waiting a little bit because it's not too long of a book. Plus, I'm trying to finish the one that I'm reading right now. So, anyway, let me talk to you about this project. This is on 32 count gray linen. I'm stitching it monochromatic with DMC 3809. And the first part that we received is these 2 little blocks and these like fancy borders. Fancy. They were really easy to work. Yeah, so the ship is all done. I got this done on like the same day. It only took a few hours because I was like determined to get it done and I really enjoyed it. And then here's the house. I love it. So, yeah, now I'm all done and waiting for part 2, which comes out in the middle of September. What month are we in? Comes out in the middle of September. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. This was exactly what I needed after Cardinal Points because that one had a ton of like color changes everywhere and that one was just monochromatic. So it was really nice to work on that. Yeah, okay, and that is all of the FOs. So Frankenstein is still like technically a WIP. I'm showing you like a mini finish basically, but yeah, I'm super enjoying that one. I cannot wait for the second part. Okay, are we ready for some WIPs? I got some good things to show y'all. So I'm gonna move this closer so that I can throw them at the other end of the couch when I'm done. Okay, crinkle crinkle. Sorry, not sorry. So, this first thing was actually part of my retail therapy the last time, and then if you watch the last video to the end, you'll know, like, it got awkwardly cut off. It actually cut off, like, one of my WIPs. So, whatever. I'll be showing that to you today. But, oh, there it is. It awkwardly, like, got cut off, so you didn't get to see this before I started it, which kind of sucks, but oh well. So, this is a project that I'm doing with my very good friend Amy from Creativity by Gidge. We're stitching this together, so it's essentially a sal. That's important. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, so we are doing a Stitch for Sweet Freedom, sorry for the glare, from Lindy Stitches, and I'm super stoked. I've had this pattern since Stephanie released it. Stephanie is the designer behind Lindy Stitches. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I bought it like fairly soon, if not immediately when she released it. And it's just been sitting here because I couldn't decide if I really wanted to leave off the girl. I kind of did. I just didn't want to stitch all of all of this. That's a lot of stitching. And then I knew that I was not going to be stitching the American flag. So I'm not patriotic if you're new here. It, yeah, nope, just can't be. But I've also never been patriotic, so it's not like this is something new. Like, yeah, I just was not raised necessarily super patriotic. So anyway, we were talking about this, and she kind of, oh no, Amy was like, well, you know, you can just like stitch the words and then you could send it to me and I'll just stitch the girl for you. And I was like, wait, seriously? Like, because I'm about this. And she was like, yeah, of course, like, totally mean that. So, what we ended up doing, we decided that because she so sweetly offered to do that, and she, like, also wanted to stitch it, but she's not doing any new starts this year, which, oh my gosh, y'all, it's September, and Amy is killing the no new starts. Like, amazing. Amazing. Anyway, so we decided that we would basically just stitch it twice. So I am stitching the words twice, one for me and one for her, and then she is going to stitch the girls for both of us. Success. Because I love, if you don't know, I love stitching words. They go by super fast for me. So, yeah, I was all for that. So I guess I'll show you this. We collaborated, that's the right word, on flosses. So the ones that are in here are mine. I'm keeping them. I know which ones are which, but I still like keeping them separate. So these are fancy flosses that I've used. Again, I'll link or list a color conversion when I get my half done, and like when Amy sends mine back after the girls finish, whenever that happens, I will list them again. So don't worry. But it's mostly fancy floss, which I'm super excited about. So I think two of these are yes. Two of these are Classic Colorworks, and then this is Weeks. Oh, excuse me. And then these are the ones that Amy sent over. And there's some Weeks, Color and Cotton, and this is a Victorian motto. So, yay. I super love it. Alright, are you ready? So, this is the fabric that we chose. I might have to, I have a picture that I sent Amy. I'll have to look and, oh, that's actually more true to color. Like, here, let me hold it back. I swear I've been doing videos for 3 years now. I should know this. Do not hold it right up to the, oh, yes. Okay, this is the color of this fabric. It's a light blue, and it's got all this beautiful, like, brownish, pinkish modeling in it. This is Earth. Where's the tag? This is Earth from Be Stitch Me. It's a 32 count Lugana. I can speak. So, oh my gosh, y'all. I flippin' love it. Oh my gosh. It's so pretty. And it's amazing to stitch on, both because it's Lugana and because her fabric is just amazing. So, yeah, we decided to do Be Stitch Me because Amy is, like a lot of people, are super obsessed with her fabrics, and I, before this, had not gotten to stitch on any of her fabrics, so I was like, heck yeah, because then I get the opportunity to. Oh, so both of the pieces are going on this, so to make it easier for me to start like this section over here, I went ahead and measured out like the edge of my piece, including the finishing. I don't know why I'm holding this way over here, y'all. Oh my gosh. So anyway, this includes like the 2-inch border that I did all around. So this is, so like when I start on Amy's, I'll just take my corner gauge and mark 2 inches and then start, count and start there. But okay, can we talk about the actual stitching now? Because I know that's what you guys want to see. Where is this floss coming from? Okay, this is what I got done. And I started this after I finished recording, so like that was the whole point. I was going to show it to you before it got started in that recording, and then I was starting it later that day. It's fine. This is what happens when you don't even try to edit for another 2 weeks, because I didn't realize, but it's fine. So this took me 2 days, and I actually, so all I have left is the 3 motifs down here, and I would have been done with mine, but I just didn't feel like doing it, and then I didn't come back to it. It's okay. It's all fine. So this is where it's at. I love it. The satin stitches up here are so fun to work. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so there we are. You can't, I think you can kind of see the variegation there. This is a Classic Colorworks Caterpillar, which is one of the called for colors, but I changed where I'm using it. Yeah, so I'm super stoked. So whenever this comes back out, hopefully this week, we'll see. I'm gonna finish these 3 motifs, and then I can just jump over and start on Amy's. So I'm all over the place, sorry y'all. What I was gonna say about this is just a strand of 3371. I just took a dark DMC color, and no rhyme or reason, I just did a running stitch after I measured, and I just did a running stitch down that line so that I would know. Yeah, so nothing fancy there. It's just DMC, and then when Amy gets it and, like, you know, she's done stitching both girls and cuts the fabric apart or whatever, she can, yeah, she can like snip at one end or something and then just cut. So, yay! I'm super excited about this. I really need to get back to it because I love the floss, the words. Like I said, I love doing words anyway, so it did not take me long to stitch them. I just need to get back to it. So, okay, there was that. Next, oops, I totally forgot this had floss in it. Okay. So, this next one, tablet, come on. This next one I started on August the 13th for dark 13 stitching. It is Plague Doctor by Busby Designs on Etsy. And yeah, it's totally because of 2020. Totally. Don't worry, I've got positive pieces coming to reflect this year also, but 1 positive piece? 2? I feel like I saw one the other day that I was like, this needs to happen in 2020. I don't remember right now. But anyway, this fabric is not showing up right at all. It's fine. Look on my Instagram. There are better pictures over there, I think. The second picture where I showed like this when I had the black on the hat done. That's a better color picture. You can't miss it because it's very vibrant purple. So, like I said, this is Plague Doctor by Busby Designs. The fabric is 28 count thistle linen from Picture This Plus. I just ordered it off of 123 Stitch. It's a really nice purple, but it's not this dark. It's more vibrant than that. But anyway, so I just measured down, I think, however, 2 inches, but maybe not 2 inches. I think that I did 2 inches on the top and bottom because I can fit it. And then on the sides, there's only going to be like 1 inch of fabric. Whatever. So I started with the border and brought it down a good bit on each side because that was just easier. And then when I got over here, I like counted over and came into the center. And so I've got all the black done up there, and when it was in the Q-snap, I was like, well, you might as well just start filling in the colors up here, because I do have, I think it's 7 colors. Yeah, 7 colors, and I have 6 of them. So, yeah, I just chose one of the colors and started filling that in, which I really need to get back to because I was enjoying it. And as you could see, it does work on Pattern Keeper, which is totally a bonus. And then the needle minder is Skulls and Roses from Stitch and Button, Vicky. So yay. It's gonna look super good. I'm so ready for this one. It's gonna be perfect. This fabric was a piece that I had bought to do a, what piece was I gonna do on that? It was a frosted pumpkin piece. Oh, the Fibery Friends sampler, the one with like all the knitting and the like yarny stuff on it, which I'm totally going to, I'm still gonna stitch that most because I love it, but won't be on that fabric now. So this next one that I'm going to show you is Fairy Circle from Carolyn Manning Designs, one of her Shooting Star collection. I don't know if that, clear, okay, sorry, clear notifications. Yeah, that's better on the color. It was a little too dark. So you can see it's a bunch of really pretty greens and then blues and purples, and there's some browns over in there. So, okay, all the things. I absolutely love Floss Buddies. Like, I need way more. I absolutely love Floss Buddies. Seriously, go check out Karina Bags Plus on Instagram and Etsy. And then Michelle Bindi Stitchy also is a distributor for Bags Plus, so you know, she mentions when she gets new shipments from Karina and stuff, and when she's going to do a live sale. So, highly recommend. Okay, so this is how I'm keeping my flosses, just showing you because the project was in one, so I figured I might as well. This is the Angela design. It's A5 size, which is a nice size if if you have planners and things. And then there's a zipper pouch over here. Flosses are extra flosses I keep in there, and then bobbins. Some of the colors came out of other projects, or out of Thanksgiving. Anyway. And then here, the rest of the overflow of colors, and I just keep the, whoops, I keep the project and my not color conversion, but like a list of the flosses back here. I love doing that because I am a person, like, if I know this color is in another project and I need it for something, I'm just going to go grab it. So it's nice to keep a list of the colors because then I can just easily check, like, okay, what's missing. This is a Bindi flip, so 12 pockets on that side, and it has a pocket on this side as well. The Angela was a design that my mom came up with. Her name's Angela. I'm never not going to say that because I'm just super excited about that. Anyway, so this is where I am. I picked this back up for a specific reason, and now I don't remember. Maybe I was trying to finish the park. I think that was what it was. I think I was trying to finish the park on it. So I'll hold this up here while I talk. So Full Coverage Fanatics, a group on Facebook, they are doing a yearly challenge, National Parks 2020, and so they chose 25 of the 60-something national parks. I don't know if it was random or what, but anyway, they chose 25 of them. And for each park, so for each individual park, you have to choose one project and put in 4,000 stitches, and then that park is complete, and you can go on to the next one. Of course, you know, you can have multiple started because I know a lot of us are doing it that way. But yeah, each park you can only use one project, 4,000 stitches. So I think that I pulled this back out to finish. I had like 1,000 stitches left on whatever park I was doing. So I got that back out and finished it. And now there's this darker purple in here in places, and then this first blue has gone in, which I'm super excited about. Yeah, it's kind of starting to come together. So I'm really excited. When I put it back in the Q-snap, I'm going to try to like fill in all of this stuff and then move on to another area. So yay, I don't remember how many parks I have done right now. I don't remember. But yeah, as you can see, I gridded the entire piece. I used a Bowen mechanical chalk pencil to grid. I will link that below. All of the links to people, shops, words, tools, all of that will, Facebook groups, all of that will be in the description box below. So yeah, so I gridded the entire thing, Bowen mechanical chalk pencil, and it is on 18 count white Ada, 2/1, all the called for DMC. Okay, I think that was everything I wanted to say about that. Oh, I already threw them over there. Okay. Oh, darn it. I gotta remember to put those back in Plague Doctor. Okay, so next, during August, there was the Cozy Egg Hats B-Day Sale. That was the hashtag. Cozy Egg Hats B-Day Sale going on for Michelle of Cozy Egg. Her birthday was in August. Sorry for the glare. Her birthday was in August, and so for her birthday sale, she wanted to work on Hands Across the Sea samplers, hats. So, oh, excuse me. So I only have the one, and I thought that would be perfect to pull it out. So this is When Thou Art Rich. And that's what it looks like. I am going to be taking out this entire row. Yeah, so that won't be there when I do mine. But anyway, so I am using the DMC conversion that's provided on the pattern. This is a piece of graphite. Yes, 30. I think this is 32 because I thought it was 36 and then I looked it up and I was like, oh no, it's 32. And I want to say that it's Lugana. Yeah, this is definitely an even weave. So this is 32 count graphite on Lugana from Color and Cotton. I almost said color this cotton. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So this is where I'm at. I might, I probably won't, let's be real. So since I picked it up and was working on this, I did some more of the yellow up here, did a bunch of this green fill in. I did the satin stitches in here, and then I jumped down here because I already had this red done, so I wanted to work on some different colors, so I came down here and started in on these beautiful blues. Oh my gosh, that was fun. And then, yeah, you can see that I've started on the greenery down here. And then I haven't gotten back to it yet, but I love it. So this is a lot of fabric, y'all. So hopefully I'll get back to this soon. Hopefully it will come up this month because Sampler September. We'll get there. And I totally skipped over my knitting WIPs. I meant to do those first, so it's fine. I'll just do those after all my cross stitch WIPs. So there's that. I love how I was like, I'm going to throw all the WIPs at the other end of the couch, but they have gone on top of the finish pile that was started on the floor, so whatever. Okay, this I pulled out. After I finished Cardinal Points. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was after I finished Cardinal Points and the Frankenstein Sal, part 1. So I pulled out, sorry y'all, all the things. I pulled out Country Cottage Needleworks This is their Cottage of the Month series, and this is November Cottage. Again, if you watched the vlogs, you'll already know, but I am only doing the fall seasons. I had originally planned, so I was gonna buy them by the season, right? So I just happened to start out with September, October, November. And I was gonna stitch all three of these, and then like when I got close to finishing November or done with it, I was gonna buy December, January, February, the winter months, right? And then stitch all of those. I don't care about the rest of the series anymore. It's not really my aesthetic anyway. It's fine. So luckily I started with the fall months. So I'm just gonna do these three and it's all good. So I've already finished September and October previously, and now I'm working on November. Put this back in here. Oh, that is one thing that I do want to say. And I mean, I don't see people like shaming others for this or anything, so that's not what I'm trying to say. But do not feel bad if you show your projects and they're in like a Ziploc bag or like, you know, some simple plastic, like whatever. It's in a bag, all your stuff is together, it works for you. Are like the fancy project bags super nice and floss buddies and all of that? Yeah, they're fabulous. And they're worth the money spent. You know, like I'm not saying, I don't even know where that came from. Like they're worth buying, they're great. But don't feel bad if you're using Ziploc bags. Like, I mean, you can see this one's jank. It's like all ripped up here. It's holding my project. It's fine. Like, I don't remember. I was just watching a couple people and it was just something that I thought about and just kind of came up in my head. Like, don't feel bad. You don't need to feel pressured or anything into having to buy all the fancy project bags. It's not a must. These are luxury items to make our craft better. Um, okay, or more pleasurable, I should say. Okay, anyway, so November Cottage. This is on, I actually need this. This is on 32 count light mocha Belfast linen. And these houses is actually why I have so much of that linen, y'all. Because I literally bought a giant piece, cut it down into 12 pieces so that I would have one for each house. And yeah, it's fine. I've just been using it for other things. So this is where I am. After Frankenstein, all I did was these two little leaves down here, which I did change the color on. Again, color changes will be somewhere after I finish the project. Yeah, but this is where I am. So like I said, all I did was those two leaves, so I really need to get back to it. Grime Guard from Silver Moon Sewing. Oh, excuse me. And then this needle minder, I actually got it from a Michelle Bindi auction. Barbie's Pedal Pusher donated it for an auction. I think that the last time that I saw these on Etsy, because I went searching for my mom to order her one, I think it was Handmade Hobby Crafts. I'll have to check. The link will be below for sure. But that's that. So this Cardinal Points was supposed to be like my Friday off the grid project. So there's a Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid. And every Friday from 6 p.m. to midnight, your time zone, the hope is that you are sitting down in your party pants, which is just a fancy way that we like to refer to our pajama pants. And yeah, just sitting down and stitching for the evening and getting like that dedicated time to work on a project or crafts in general, you know, whatever. So Cardinal Points was supposed to be the project for that, and then I just got so attached to it that it's done now. So, which, can we just talk about that? I finished the entire, like the bottom 3 pages in 2 weeks. What? Like, why has it been sitting all year? It could have been done so long ago. But anyway, yeah, so November Cottage is now going to be my Friday off the grid project. So even if I don't pick it back up before then, I have to work on it Friday. That's what I'm telling myself. Hopefully that works out. My mojo is crazy. That I do know. Anyway, Okay, November Cottage, and then next, oh, let me pull this up. So next is Thanksgiving. This is a Tilton Crafts chart. It was free. It was a free Tilton Crafts chart. When I found it, I haven't checked in a while, so I don't know if it's still on the site or not. Um, but that is what it will look like. Giant cornucopia and big ass pumpkin in the front. I noticed that early, or what was that? Not earlier. Like a couple days ago, I was just, yeah, I was looking at this and I was like, giant ass pumpkin. It's fine. Which, can we just say BAP now also means big ass pumpkin? That sounds like a whole nother Sal. I'm just saying. There you go. And it is, I mean, okay, it's not fall technically, but as far as I'm concerned, it's September, damn it. So it's fall. Because by the time we get fall here in Alabama, we're going to get it for like 3 weeks, maybe 4 tops, and then it will be gone. So, whatever. Yeah, but this is what this project looks like, all the tangents. Can somebody make the big ass pumpkin Sal like a thing now? Can we? I'm not even super into pumpkins, but that's just such a great hashtag, and now I want to do it. Okay, I gotta find a pumpkin pattern now, or maybe I'll just use this one. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what the project looks like. There we go. I picked this back up while I was in this black. So I finished that and then worked down the diagonal. I only did like just over 300 stitches yesterday or 2 days ago when I picked it up. But I'm super excited to have this one back out. Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, she has her incredible In This Moment piece. It's a Haid pattern. And every time I see it, I'm just like, I need to get back to Thanksgiving. Like, I always think full coverage, especially because I miss my full coverage projects, but Thanksgiving, oh my gosh, y'all, I miss this project. I miss this project. And originally, it was actually my goal to have it done this year, by the fall. Yeah, it's September, so that's so not happening. But I want to see how much progress I can make during this autumn season. We'll see. We shall see. So yeah, as you can see here, I'm using the parking method. These are all the ones that are parked on page 5. So this is page 4. 1 and 2 are already done up here. Yeah, so I'm working on page 4, and then this line here, again, you can see my grid marks with that same pen. That's what I use to grid on everything, or pencil. It's not a pen. It's a chalk pencil. But yeah, this long line out here is the bottom of page 4, so you can see that I'm super close. But it's not going to matter because I'm actually just going to keep going straight down into page 7. I actually should probably grid down here. I'll get to it when I actually get into page 7 more probably. But yeah, I'm just going to keep working straight down and finish page 7, because then this whole column will be done, because pages 7, 8, 9, well, and 3 and 6, they're all partial pages. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this. And then the plan is to come over here after, work 5, go down and do 8, and then maybe put it on the big Q-snap, by which I mean 11 by 17. I'm not sure yet, but then after I finish 4, 7, 5, and 8 in that order, then I will just come back up and do all of 3, 6, 9. Yeah. Right now, that's the plan. We'll see if I like get tired of looking at this one section. But yeah, so this is where it is right now. This is on 22 count, even weave. It's loops and threads, and I got it from Michaels. They market it as Ada, but I think there was a whole discussion on Caroline Off the Grid Needle Arts, her channel, sometime last year, I think, that about like that not actually being Ada. Whatever. I'm just gonna call it even weave because it is an even weave, and it's 22 count. whatever. So yeah, all the called for DMC. I'm doing 1/1 full cross. This grime guard is from Lou's Cross Stitch, who is no longer on Etsy. This one is not as thick or as wide. That's what I'm trying to say. This one is not as wide as a lot of the other ones I have, so it's not really good for like keeping the fabric behind the grime guard. But this one, there's not a bunch of extra fabric on this piece anyway, so it works out perfectly. Yeah, okay, needle minders. That's what I needed. So these two are from Vicky Stitch and Button, and this one I got from a Michelle Bendy auction. It is from Sampling of Memories, and it's a sheepy. Cause sheep. Okay, one more. Well, one more cross stitch whip. I gotta remember to do my knitting whips. They're sitting right here. You would think that I would remember. It's fine. So this next one we all know and love. Oh my gosh, another one of my favorites. Like, I just love this piece. I love it. My mojo, can I just say my mojo is fighting because Thanksgiving and Snape are at battle with each other. I want to work on both of them so much. So here is Snape. Oh, that is what I was getting into. Yes. Oh, okay, the words are over here. Y'all, I haven't so last night I was trying to find a full picture of this project and I was being lazy, so I was like, just gonna go look at blah blah blah, and then it turned out to be way harder, and it was like, dude, you could have just exited out of Pattern Keeper and it literally would have taken 2 seconds. But no, I was trying to, it was ridiculous. Anyway. My life. My life. So this is Severus Snape from the Cross Stitch Salon. That is her name on Facebook and Etsy. If you're looking on Instagram, her name is Cross Stitch Fanatic, which, do what you want, but can I just say that was it was kind of annoying because I had been like linking, I remembered that the Instagram name was different, but then I was linking the wrong person. Whatever. It's fine. I just, yeah. Consistency. That's all I'm saying. Because I know for me, like, I forget almost every time. It's ridiculous. But anyway, she has some really cute patterns. I have a sushi one from her. Because this was a free pattern. I looked on her Facebook the other day when I was looking for a full picture of this, and I'm not sure that it's still offered as a free pattern. I don't think. I'll have to go back and check, but I didn't see it because she has her free patterns like pinned to the top on the Facebook page. So anyway, this is Severus Snape. It's a full coverage project, and I'm in love with it. So I'll point this out so that you can see it when I show the project. I have just started doing like this left ear of the dough, which I'm super excited about now that I like know that that's what it is. Because when I was stitching it, I was like, am I already like on the dough? Like, that doesn't make sense. I thought the words were coming in right here. No, the words on the other side. Super stoked. So this is Snape. Oh, I love him. Yeah, so I picked this back up. I don't know where I was. Don't make me lie to you. I did a lot yesterday. I think I did almost, well, it would have reset now, but I think I did almost 1,000 stitches yesterday, if not 1,000 stitches. I didn't look before I went to bed. Whoops, and I just hit myself in the eye, if you happen to see that. That's fabulous. So I worked up here on finishing some of this confetti. I'm not sure that you guys can like see it very well on screen. I think you can. Hold on. Okay. So in that top right corner, I think you can kind of see that I've started getting like the castle in there. And I'm slowly moving down into that like window opening area there, but you can kind of see the top like architecture there. I think that helps when I hold it up next to it. So I filled in some confetti up here and started bringing that stuff down, and then after I did some of this, I went back down this diagonal, and you can see I've got done down to here. So that's kind of where I'm gonna work down to, and I'm trying to get all of this brought down to that point, and then I'm going to move the Q-snap. It's either going to be moved on this one, or if I need a little bit of extra room, I will put him on my 11 by 17 Q-snap. Excuse me, that was originally the plan, but we'll see. I don't mind having it in the 11 by 11, so if it can fit once I move it down, then we'll do that. No problem. So you can see, I'll bring it in a little closer. I still have some of this confetti to kind of fill in along this row of boxes, but from now on I'm pretty much just going to be working in my diagonals again. Again, you can see I use the parking method. I absolutely love the parking method, and for this one it works really well. Like, Thanksgiving has 60 colors, so there's a lot more colors to be, you know, parked somewhere and used. But Snape only has 20 colors, so yeah, that really helps. And a lot of this in here is just a bunch of 939, so that helps even more. Yeah, I'm trying to think, what else do I want to say? Oh, I totally forgot to talk about one thing. So let me tell you details. This is on 18 count Aida, 2/1, full cross. This needle minder, the Hogwarts one, it's a Hogwarts Crest wax seal from Simply Serving HK. And then this one is an abstract needle minder from 1884 Stitchery. So yay. And then Grime Guard again from Silverman Sewing. Yay. So, the thing that I forgot to mention, okay, Full Coverage Fanatics is doing I had to like get my thoughts together. Full Coverage Fanatics, the same group that's doing the National Parks Challenge, year-long challenge. So they are, I think that they always do one for the tour. I could be wrong. At first they weren't going to do one for Tour de France this year because the Olympics were supposed to be this year. So they were going to do the Olympics challenge, but now that's been moved to next year. And they didn't realize that Tour de France had been rescheduled to start in August. I already knew because, okay, another side note, whatever. Stay with me, people. So, in the knitting world, or in the yarning community, that's better. In the yarning community, if you are a spinner, as in you spin your yarn from fiber, or spin yarn from fiber, there's an event, again, based off the Tour de France race, and it's called Tour de Fleece, because fleece is the fiber that you get from sheep. Yeah, and so, you know, you spin a fleece from a sheep to get yarn. Anyway, Tour de Fleece. So it's a big spinning event. You make your own goals, and a lot of people, it's just like, I'm gonna, you know, aim to spend 15 or 20 minutes every day, whatever you want your goal to be. Some people spin sweaters quantities or whatever, but yeah, it runs during the time of Tour de France. And so they did it this year, still during July, even though the race got canceled. But they so anyway, one of the groups that I'm in, one of the social groups that I'm in, they have a team. You can have different teams for Tour de Fleece. So they did a team for Tour de Fleece, and we were talking about it, and they were like, yeah, I think it's supposed to be back in August. So anyway, long story short, I just happened to know, and it was really funny because, you know, I was watching Kim's video, and Kim Hollenbeck, oh my gosh, y'all, I've like name dropped so many like people that I haven't written down on these show notes. It's gonna be crazy. If I forget somebody, y'all just let me know. Jesse, Kim, I think that's the only ones I missed. Hope so. No, it's not. I just thought of... I'm gonna have to go back through this again. I think I left something off. Anyway, real life. So, Kim Hollenbeck, I was watching her video and she was talking about it and she was like, yeah, we didn't realize it was happening. And I was like, it's one of those moments, like, this is not to, like, you know, judge other people's or anything, whatever, but it was just one of those moments where it was like, oh my gosh, did I, like, know things? Like, I was, like, ahead of the curve, really? That never happens for me. If I'm finding something out, it's probably happened, like, forever ago, and I'm just super slow on learning about it. Anyway, oh gosh, how did we get there? Y'all, I've taken so many turns, I, like, can't even find my way back. Anyway, so, Tour de France got pushed off, but it's happening now. It's a thing. It's happening. So Kim and Anne decided to they decided they were going to do it since the Olympics event that they were going to do got pushed off to next year. They were like, let's just go ahead and do the Tour de France thing. So, oh my gosh, y'all, the rabbit holes. Sorry, I gotta put that down because I will just like open and close markers like that, and I know that's annoying for a lot of people. Yeah, so anyway, oh my gosh. Full Coverage Fanatics is doing a Tour de France 2020 stitching challenge. It's the same that they've done in at least the previous years that I've seen, if you've done it before. Each kilometer of the race, so every day, hold please, I can show you a picture. Oh my gosh. I knew this was going to be rambly before I started recording, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. For those of y'all that love to hear me ramble, you're welcome. So this is in the files section of the group. I just went on there and saved it so that I would have, or screenshotted it, I think, so that I would have it. So as you can see, each day, this is the day that it started on the 29th of August. So each day there's a set number of kilometers because that's how long the race is that day in the Tour de France, in the bike race. So for each kilometer, you do one stitch. Of course, it's in Full Coverage Fanatics, so it needs to be a full coverage project. And I think you're supposed to just pick one project to do the race on. This is where I was heading with this, ridiculous. So I was gonna do Snape, and then I was like, wait, you've really been wanting to work on Thanksgiving. You should do it on Thanksgiving. So I switched. And then, like, I knew that I was still gonna work on Snape because yesterday, I totally forgot to mention this, yesterday, September the 1st, was Back to Hogwarts Day. That is the day in the Wizarding world, at least for Hogwarts, that's the day that they get on the train and go back to Hogwarts for a new school year. So, whoops. So, yeah. So anyway, I knew I was going to work on, like, trying to catch my train of thought here. It's rushing off into the tunnel without me. So, I knew I was going to work on Snape for Back to Hogwarts Day. And then yesterday I picked it up and I got so attached to it. I feel like I'm already a third of the way done with the challenge. But anyway, Thanksgiving is going to be my main project for Tour de France. And then Snape is kind of like a stretch goal. I would really like to get the whole tour done on it too. So basically, there are 3 different, you can see there's anyway, go to the event and read because I cannot ramble about this any longer. I feel like this is, if anyone was interested, I feel like I've lost them by this point. Go to the event and read for yourself. But yeah, so there are 3 different ways that you can do it. I am, of course, going for all of it. I'm going to do all of the stitches. So what I was trying to say earlier, you can see each day has a number of kilometers that the racers are biking, and for each kilometer you do 1 stitch on your project. So it comes to a total of 3,481 stitches. So Thanksgiving, like I said, is going to be my main project for that. It's the one that I definitely want to that I'm like officially kind of using for the challenge, but I think I'm gonna go back and actually put in the picture, the start picture for Snape, because I'm already like a third of the way there. So I might as well, because I really think I'm gonna reach that stretch goal. So we'll see. Anyway, okay. Oh my gosh. That was like ridiculous. So let's talk knitting WIPs really quick because we're already in an hour and I still need to do retail therapy. How did this happen? So I'm going to show you my socks super quick. This is in a Harry Potter bag from Manicory Creations. Love it. Love the person that made it. Love it. Okay, I have both of my sock WIPs in here. You'll remember this one from last week. Didn't work on that one though. I only worked on this one a little bit, so I don't even, okay, see the first sock is way over here. That's not helpful. And it's got floss on it. Okay. My life. So this is the first sock. It's just a vanilla sock. This pair is cuffed down. It's for my still in works Vanilla for Life sock pattern that hopefully will be released before 2020 is out. That's what I'm hoping, but we'll see. Yeah, so there's the first sock. Like I said, just vanilla sock, cuff down. I'm going to be doing another pair to test the toe-up version because I want it to have a... Holding it the wrong way. Okay, I want it to have a heel flap and gusset pattern. So the pattern will have both German short row heels and heel flap and gusset for both heels for both toe up and cuff down knitting. So yeah, and then I got to thinking about it again, and there are some video tutorial things that I want to do, and yeah. So maybe this pattern will come out at the beginning of 2021 because I've just got so many plans and things that I want to do, and I don't know. Y'all, it's gonna be a mystery. You're along for the ride. We're all on the same train trying to see what happens. How perfect is that? Yesterday was back to Hogwarts Day. Maybe we're on the Hogwarts Express, in which case I'm fine with that. But yeah, so this, I don't remember. I think that this marker is where I was. I think that's where I was last time that y'all saw it. I think I was down here. I'm pretty sure. So that's where I was last time. Don't remember where I got this progress keeper. It's a little umbrella, but that is what I've got done right now. I think that I'm right at the end of the leg. I have to actually count. I need to count my rows again and see where I'm at, and then I'll be on the heel. Gotta remember I need to take some pictures of this when I get there. So this is, the yarn that I'm using is Wee Chickadee Wool Co. in the Willow Song colorway. It's of course not showing up correctly. It's being blown out, but it's got tons of beautiful speckles in there. I love it. Okay, there's that. Minimal work. And then that goes somewhere else. Okay. So then this is the project. This is a new project since I saw you last. I decided to rip out my northeasterly blanket. So this is a pattern by Skenanigans. It's a beautiful pattern. I love it. But this has been sitting in a box for like 2 years now, close to 2 years. And I just, yeah, I love it, but I don't know. I wasn't really feeling like working on it anymore whenever I would think about it. And most of the yarn in here, not all of it, a lot of these scraps, they're not part of what I'm about to say, but most of these yarns are Harry Potter Advent yarns that I got 2 years ago from Graceland Wool. I don't think she's dyeing anymore. I can't find the Instagram account, so maybe she's not dyeing anymore. But yeah, it was a Harry Potter Advent calendar, and so I was using all of these yarns for that. There's like I said, a few still left in here. And then I put the bag over there. But I have like 6 or 7 more that weren't in the blanket yet. Those will be put into this new blanket. And then I found more Harry Potter yarn leftovers in my stash because I'm a Harry Potter fan, so of course I have Harry Potter yarn. And leftovers that I had will also be put in this new blanket. So I'm ripping out that blanket, and as I do that, I am adding in, or I'm starting and working on a second Cozy Memories blanket. So, oh gosh, sorry. My hair is not even long enough for me to like throw it. I don't know what I just did that for. So this is the center, these 4 squares. You can see that I have turned all the squares so that the decreases are going different directions. And that will, you can kind of tell that will follow through, right? So anything in this quadrant will have the decreases going that direction, as well as, I mean, you can see like these are going in the same direction. These down here are all going in the same direction. So that's the way I'm going to build this blanket. Like I said, this is my second one. I finished my first one last year. It took me about 2 years to do it, just under 2 years, I think. So we'll see how long this one takes me. It's fine if it takes longer than 2 years. I'm not worried about that. But yeah. So far all of this is Harry Potter yarn. All of them are yarns from the Graceland Wool Advent, except these 2. This one is the Burrow from Teeny Button Studio. Seriously, y'all, check her out. If you love Harry Potter yarn, check Robin out. Even if you don't love Harry Potter yarn, or like you don't care if it's Harry Potter, check her out. All of her yarn is beautiful, but oh my gosh, her Harry Potter colorways, beautiful, amazing. Amazing. Anyway, so that's the Burrow. And then this one, also from Robin, is, I have to remember which one I used in this. No, because this has got the pink pops. So this is, y'all, I thought I had it. Weasley Jumper. Took too long. Okay. See, I made a pair of socks out of this yarn, and I always remember what I called the socks, and I remember the pattern that I used for the socks because it was also a Harry Potter theme. But yeah, I like always forget what the name of the yarn is. So anyway, this is, it's either Weasley Jumper or Weasley Christmas Jumper. But that is from Teeny Button also. I love it. I love it. I'm pretty sure this was the Buckbeak colorway. I'm fairly certain that this was the Expecto Patronum colorway. The minis all came with little names, and I did take pictures of them, but I don't think that I actually like saved them to my phone. I didn't like, I took them in Instagram every day, and I only saved the ones that I was super in love with probably, so I don't have the names for these anymore. And if I do, I have not been bothered enough to go back and look it up. So there's my Cozy Memories blanket. Off to a weird start because I just kind of add them wherever I feel like. But I'm enjoying it. And this little progress keeper came with the Graceland Wool Advent. I think that Whips on Sticks did this progress keeper for the kit. So yay. Because I know Sarah and Kayla, they used to have a podcast together too, but I don't know if I don't remember what it was called actually. It was them and another Sarah. There were 2 Sarahs and Kayla. I'll have to go find it. They had like 3 or 4 episodes, and I really enjoyed them. Maybe life just got in the way. I'm not sure. But anyway, so blankets. Old becomes new. And I'm using, before I forget, I'm using signature needles that I was gifted from a friend back while I was still working on the first Cozy Memories. So these are signature needles. They're the stiletto tips. They're super sharp, which I absolutely love. You can tell that one of them is bent. Whatever, still usable. I did that. Like, that was totally me from knitting with it so much. But these are 2.75 millimeters, which is a US size 2. Love it. So, okay. Those are all of the WIPs now. Yay! So I am going to pause and put all these projects and things up and get all of my retail therapy because there's a decent bit of that. Yeah, and then we will talk plans for September and retail therapy. So be right back. Okay, so it is totally the next day. It's now Thursday, September 3rd, but I need to finish this. So yeah, I never felt like recording again today or yesterday. So we're gonna finish this hopefully quick so that this is not, it's gonna be a movie, minus the commercials. Anyway, so plans for September. I am doing, okay, so Sampler September is a thing, right? So I wanted to do that because I've been feeling my samplers lately, but also Claire from Beautiful Clarity and Anne, I never remember her name, which is so horrible, from Stitch Roadies. They both talked about doing sales in September, so I have a bunch of those too that I wanted to jump on and participate in that. So I am basically, and I didn't do Arbitrary August last month, so basically I'm doing Arbitrary August as far as like randomly picking my projects, and it's going to be between sales and samplers. So that's what we're doing. I'll show you the apps. I totally am not prepared today, whatever. So, okay, multiple apps. So I'm using the, I have just a dice app here that I'm using to pick between sales or samplers. And then I just kind of like come up with random criteria like before I do that. This first time it was, okay, if it's odd, it's going to be sal, and then if it's even, it's going to be samplers. Because I have started using this app right here, and I'm on Android in case I'm sure that you can find something like this on Apple. They're just like basic apps. But I'm using this one, the random name picker. And you can see I have September sales and September samplers. So there are two different lists. And so, okay, today's the 3rd. So I spun on the 1st, or was that yesterday? No, I spun yesterday because the 1st I just let myself work on Snape all day because I got into it. And so on the 2nd I was still working on other things, Thanksgiving and Snape, but I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and spin, and like if I get tired of one of these and kind of want to change, then I'll work on that project. So I did, so the die, no, there were 2. Anyway, the dice were an odd number, so it was Sal's that time. And so I'm just going to read off the projects that I have under each list. I'm not going to like pull them out and show you where they are or even pop up pictures. Like, no. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it where they started from. That's as much as I can do. Okay, so for Sal's, I'm working on, funny enough, this is actually the first one that got pulled. I don't have a Instagram. I'm just going to show you this because I've already like kind of been working on it, so why not? Okay. So, the first one that got called is Hello Pumpkin from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So this is what the overall pattern looks like. And that was my starting point. So I'm working up here. Because I was like, well, I might as well go ahead and finish the little fox. So, which I don't remember what people named them. This one came out last year. super behind. So, yeah, I finished his head up here and started it on some pink, did this brown and these beige leaves. So, yeah, slowly. And I think like the edge of the pattern is like there's some leaves right here, and then that's the edge of the tree. So, I'm getting there. Um, yeah, you can see there, like on the other side of that acorn, like that's the edge of the pattern. So I'm doing pretty good. I think I finished months 1 and 2, and then just never did 3, 4, and 5. I think the fox was like the start of part 3. Um, so I can totally do this and finish it. But anyway, so the sals that I'm choosing from this month are Hello Pumpkin, Positivity Rules, another one from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, Quotes to Live By from Stitchrovia, Relentless from Ink Circles, and Sweet Freedom, A Stitch for Sweet Freedom by Lindy Stitches, because it's basically a sal. I'm doing it with Amy. And then for samplers, there are only 3. So Autumn Smile Sampler from Lindy Stitches. Y'all haven't seen that one in a while, but anyway. There's a picture of that one on the blog, actually. The very outdated blog, but that one's actually up to date because I don't think I've touched it this year. And then Love and Unity from Modern Folk Embroidery, and When Thou Art Rich from Hands Across the Sea. So yeah, those are the projects I'm going to be working on this month, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, each one's going to get like 2 to 3 days. We'll see, because I still want to be working on Snape and Thanksgiving. So yay. Okay, retail therapy, happy mail, all the things. Let's get through this. I'm just gonna, I have everything, okay, I have everything like stacked right here because I got it ready yesterday. I just never filmed. So I'm just gonna grab off of the stack. It's not in any particular order. I guess since I have this, I will talk, that's not what I wanted. I will talk about this fabric first. So, my good friend, whoops, let's not show my address. My good friend, Teresa from 33rd Street Knits sent me this giant package of fabric. I mean, you can see how thick it is. Like, there's a good bit of fabric in here. So, there were a couple of pieces of this swag art fabric that I'm using for, it's the same color as what I'm using for Frankenstein. So that's where that fabric came from. And then there's like some just like neutral colored Charles Craft and things in there. So, okay, this piece of Picture This Plus Legacy was in there. I made it. And then this piece of Picture This Plus Sand was also in there. Super stoked. Yeah, I'm always down for, you know, basically free Picture This Plus. Heck yeah, I am. So that's that, and I'll show you what I'm going to use that fabric for in a second. And so then there's also like this bag of fabric, and it's just got like some weird cuts in here. This one's like a really pretty blue, which me and Amy laughed really hard when I got this package because neither of us had like a fabric that we wanted to use for Stitch for Sweet Freedom. And then of course, after we've like ordered that fabric and like she sent it to me and everything, I like came into fabric that would have worked. But it's fine because now I have it for something else. So, I mean, I told you several times, but thank you, Teresa. Seriously, such a big help. Okay, so the Picture This Plus Sand, I am going to be using this on The Power of Love, or, well, part of it for The Power of Love from Stony Creek. I am borrowing this chart from a friend, and I'm super stoked. I'm so glad. This has actually been on, I think it was Sheila from, I'm pretty sure it was Sheila from Sunshine Stitchers that showed it like a while back now, and I was like, dude, I have to have that. I love it. It's so true. So the pattern says, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Can we, yeah. Is that not 2020? I mean, it's like centuries, but is that not 2020? So this is kind of, I think I alluded earlier, this is going to be like my more positive, like 2020 piece. So yeah, we'll see if either Plague Doctor or this one gets done this year. I don't know. I got a lot of goals right now. So yeah, that is going to go on this fabric. Super excited about that. Okay, no. Okay, where do I want to go next? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, where do I want to go next? Okay, so this one I totally forgot to even put on the retail therapy thing last time, so it didn't even get shown. But Michelle Bindi Stitchy read all of the poems out of here um, last year, I think. So this is The Very Stuff by Stephen Beale. Uh, Poems on color, thread, and the habits of women. I am super stoked to have this in my possession. So all of the, I'll show you one of the pages. So all of the poems are named after and about DMC colors. So I'm super stoked about this. I'm probably gonna, I'm thinking I'm gonna use it as like conversation points during craft with me's. We'll see. I'm not exactly sure yet how I'm gonna work that into stuff, but we'll figure it out because I already have some plans for craft with me's. Okay, so speaking of Michelle, this is okay. I ordered the sampler lessons pattern that I showed y'all that I finished. I ordered that from Acorns and Threads. It was the pattern to keep this pattern company because Michelle posted this on her story and I was like, so we're selling this? Yes? Like, because I need this. Like, it has to happen. Um, yeah, so this is A Squirrel and His Nut from Luhu Stitches. It came out this year. Super stoked. Is that not beautiful? So I need to figure out exactly what fabric I'm going to do it on. I haven't decided that yet. But yeah, that's going to be a thing. So Michelle, oh my gosh. Michelle and I are going to style this. We're going to start on Autumn Equinox, the first day. Oh, why did I just, okay. The first day of autumn. I'm fine. I almost said the first summer. I don't know what's good. Anyway, I can't explain. So we're going to be starting this on September the 22nd because that is the first day of fall this year. So yeah, join in. I don't know what, darn it, I had, no, that was a different hashtag. So maybe, I don't know. I had some hashtag ideas, but I'm going to talk to Michelle. She might be able to come up with something better. So yeah, it probably won't be on the screen because I'm not going to talk to her before I edit this, probably. So we'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. Pay attention to Instagram, I suppose. But yeah, style that with us. Okay, next. I have so many things happening right now. Okay, Michelle. So she knit. We started our hitchhikers together, and she finished hers and sent it to me already. I am horrible and still have both her hitchhiker and a shawl for Rose sitting back there. Still need to block them. It's fine. It's gonna happen, I swear. And it's almost fall, like almost officially fall. Like I said, September means fall in my head, so whatever. And she lives in Oregon, so like honestly, she's a lot closer to fall than I am. But yeah, Michelle, it's coming soon, I promise. But look at her shawl. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I am holding something that Michelle like knit and it's mine. And like, what? But I love it. So this is the hitchhiker pattern from Martina Bim. I will, there will be a link below. I'm not sure. So what I'm doing lately with knitting patterns and things, I'm looking to see if designers have their patterns or their shops or something like listed elsewhere. I know a lot of people have like Ravelry alternatives nowadays because of the theme changes and the problems that it caused for so many people. So just look out for that. If I do, like, if I can't find another link or something and I end up linking to Ravelry, there will be a note, like, clearly there so that you know, like, hey, this is going to Ravelry. Because I don't want you to, like, click on it and all of a sudden, like, you have a migraine because of the background colors and things. So it will be clearly noted. Yeah. So anyway, Hitchhiker by Martina Bem. And I don't remember the colorway, but I know that it's Three Irish Girls yarn. So I'm stoked. I love a good rainbow, y'all. I love it. So thank you, Michelle. I'm super stoked about having this. Oh my gosh. Hurry up, cool weather. Please. Okay. Am I keeping it in the bag so it'll look nice? Yes. Yes, I am. My shawl drawer is beyond overflowing. I need to figure something out. Okay, so next, let's do these. So these are the latest, well, okay, these are June and July, so hopefully I'm not going to spoil anybody on these. The Lolo Did It Quotable Dumbledore Club. So the three that I'm about to show you are potentially like the last three that I'm getting in the series because money, and I had to cut back on some things, which really breaks my heart. So I'm not going to be getting the September one because I skipped the payment at the end of August, and I'm kind of sad about it. I'm hoping I can like get back in it before the year's over, but we'll see. Girl gotta get a job. Okay, which one was first? So this one was June, and the quote is, this was the Neville one. So, okay, sorry, whatever. You're here for the rambles, right? So, for Back to Hogwarts Day, and I actually finished it yesterday because I didn't finish the whole movie on the first, but I decided to watch Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And probably later in the month when I'm like working on Snape, I'll probably watch Chamber of Secrets. Because I didn't watch those for Harry Potter's birthday. But anyway, so I watched Sorcerer's Stone, and within like 10 minutes, there was the earwax, Every Flavor Beans quote, which has been a yarn. And then there was this quote about Neville that has also been a yarn. So yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like 2 of the quotes are out of this movie. Maybe more of them. I would have to go back and actually look. Okay, anyway, that's a topic for a different day. I just thought of something that would be super cool, but I gotta find it. Okay, so anyway, the June quote is, it takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. Oh, Neville. Oh, Neville. But also, y'all, this blue is straight up 995 and 996. Like, not even kidding. 995, 996. Like, Jessie, I don't know if she's gonna like have these colors afterwards, but if she is, I've already said that I have to buy multiples of some of them. Hopefully they're not ones that like she's gonna make us wait a year on. I don't know. I haven't looked into all that. But anyway, the July yarn is this one. It's like a cream color, and then I don't know if y'all can see this. It's got like blue and purple like specks. It's just like very lightly dyed. Yeah, I was trying to see if it's, oh, maybe if I slide it down some. So you can kind of see, it's just very light blue and purple speckles. So this quote is, oh my gosh, this is another one of my favorites. I was merely reading the Muggle magazines. I do love knitting patterns. So do I. So do I. Okay, crinkle, crinkle. I'm actually going to just pause for a second. Hold on. Okay, so I'm totally sad that I paused it. I had to open 2 different packages. I'm totally sad that I paused it because I had like the best like gasp of love, and y'all, it wasn't recorded. So sorry. Which is sad because the whole reason I hadn't opened them yet was so I could do a live, like, you know, you can see my reaction, whatever. Oh my gosh. Okay, there you go, because it was just as good. Oh my gosh. I hope this is not spoiling it for anyone that possibly gets these, but oh my gosh, look at August, y'all. Yay! I'm so stoked. This is the first, like, like obviously warm color. A lot of them have been like pinks and blues and greens and purples we've gotten so far, and like we've gotten like some good browns that like definitely lean towards warmer colors, but this is the first like obvious warm color. So I'm super stoked. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the quote is, oh yes. I don't remember which book this is from, but anyway, it is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. Y'all. Y'all. I feel like it's showing up more as a, no, that's more accurate. It's not pink. Like it's got some pinkish tones in there, but it's not pink. It's like a, I don't know. It's kind of like a, well, it's like a corally color actually. But it definitely, like it's definitely tonal. Um and gets into like some deeper reds and things. You guys can kind of see that. Oh my gosh, I love it. So this is the August yarn. Oh my gosh. So that means, so I got through August. So I have 9 out of 13. I'm really sad about this. But also 9 and 13 are both known as unlucky numbers in different parts of the world. So theme, I guess, whatever. Anyway, there's that. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm so okay. And I like, now I feel like I can't hold these together because it's gonna look super patriotic. Okay, anyway. That's a personal problem. So, are these what I think they are? Okay, so I got this package, right? So you don't see the addresses. So I got this package and I was like, I don't know what this is. And then I was like, but it feels like pins. And then I was like, okay, is it the pins that I ordered for, like, there was a charity thing. Yes! So there was a, it wasn't, well, it was a charity thing because it was donated to different Black Lives Matter causes and potentially LGBTQ plus causes as well. I don't remember. It was a couple months ago now. But I did post about it on my Instagram. Maybe you'll recognize them when I hold them up. But this is who it came from. It was a it was a Kickstarter. There we go. So this is from Amanda Moon at Eclectic Scribbles, and that's where you can find her everywhere. She's eclectic.scribbles on Instagram and Eclectic Scribbles on Facebook. And she has her own website also. So I'm going to hold that up for a second so you can go find her. I love that logo. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Okay. I am so stoked. So I did, so there was like grade A and grade B pins, right? So like grade B, I think were basically like the ones that like maybe had little hiccups or whatever. I don't care about that. I like, honestly, if things don't get like bruised and beaten, then you didn't love them enough and use them as far as I'm concerned. It's fine. So I got 3 of them, and yeah, I don't think I got the exclusive one that was gold. But anyway, so these are the 3 that I got. So this is the World Unity pin, because you can see it has a globe in the background. This is the Bisexual Pride pin, because I'm bi, so I had to. And then this is the, I think she just called it the Gay Pride pin. It just has the original 6 colors of the pride flag in the background. So those are the 3 that I got. I love them. Oh my gosh, I love it. And they're huge, so they both have 2 of the like points on the back, which I'm stoked about. I don't know which, but one of these is most definitely gonna be a needle minder whenever me and my mom get around to actually turning all our pins into needle minders. The collection is just like building up at this point. It's ridiculous. I need to get on that. Maybe that's something we can do. Anyway, I don't know which one will be a needle minder. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of want this one to be the needle minder, but I also feel like this one is the one that I actually want to wear out as a pin and have on jackets and things, because global unity and Black Lives Matter. So maybe this will just stay a pin. So it's between it's between these two. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. Okay. Was that it? I think, oh no. Okay, two more things. So Amy, when she sent the fabric and the flosses and things for Sweet Freedom, she was trying to send this to me like a year ago, 2 years ago, and the mail system was just, there are so many words that I like don't actually want to go on YouTube, but like, y'all, I don't know what was going on, but she tried like 3 different times to send this package to me. She had the right address and everything, and they kept sending it back. I don't know. I don't know. And now what do? They shove all my mail into my mailbox. Whatever. Anyway, so she sent this beautiful scissor fob, which is still not on anything because I love it so much that I don't know what exactly I want to put it on yet. But yeah, I love it. All the yellow, even though they're flowers, I love them. They're yellow and like orangish colors. And then these two say knowledge, which is kind of perfect because Zakia means smarter, intelligent. I'll take it. And then genuine. So yay. I'm super here for it. And then there's scissors and just all the beads. I love it. Thank you, Amy. So, okay, the only other thing that I wanted to say was that I actually won like a prize. In Semi-Sane Stitchers, I mentioned last month that I was playing dodgeball before I got out. It was very early in the month. But, and honestly, after I got out, I stopped paying attention completely. So, oh well. But, at some point during all of that, they like raised money, gathered some money together. I'm not sure how that worked. And then they chose 5 different people from, I want to say from the team that didn't win. Not exactly sure. Or maybe like all the ghosts in the team that didn't win. I don't even remember because I honestly just kind of glanced over it because they were like, oh yeah, congrats to these people. And I was like, wait, what? Did I like get something? What? So anyway, they had 5 gift cards, and we could pick between 2 places where we wanted it to go towards for, I think, like $15. So yeah, now I have a $15 gift card to 123 Stitch, which is just super sweet of them. So thank you if any of you are watching. Super appreciate it. I have already told them over there, so they know. Yeah, first thing on that list that I'm buying is needles. It's fine. It's all fine. Okay, that is actually it. That is everything. Oh my gosh. Sorry, not sorry for the movie. I hope you got lots of crafting done or chores or whatever you're doing while you watch/listen to me. Yeah, so until I talk to y'all again, I hope that everyone stays safe and healthy and sane and doing whatever you need to do to keep yourself together during all of this. I think that's it. Hopefully, today is Thursday, so hopefully this will go up sometime today. That is the plan. And then I don't know. We'll see what happens next week. I really want to do a craft with me, so that's coming. I got a lot of people I need to shout out. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do next week. We'll do a craft with me and just get ready for it to be all the name dropping, because I've been watching a lot of people. I feel like I only shout out like the same, like mention the same few people, and I don't know. I want to like shout people out. It's not that I'm trying to avoid it or anything. I don't think about it. I used to have like a little, shout out section, or put like people's channel names up on the screen. I'm not going to be popping the channel names on the screen anymore because that requires editing and me to actually listen to myself. But I do want to like tell you who I've been watching and enjoying, because especially during this past couple months, I've been watching a good few new people. So stay tuned for that sometime next week. I'm not sure when. Yeah, but until then, happy knitting, happy stitching, happy crafting, y'all. Bye.